Live from Digital Dress GA0992539 in Kukumimlaka. I'm here to mirror your comments to the rest of the world on JoyNews Interactive here on the JoyNews Multi-TV channel on DSTV 421 and GoTV 144. Your comments are always welcome on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram or JoyNews on TV. I'm happy to CBD. Thank you so much for your company. Now let's talk about spiritual versus scientific. That is what it is looking like as we begin the election year. At crossover services to usher in 2020, some notable prophets prophesied victory for President Akufo-Addo, with others predicting a win for John Mahama. Now let's start with prophetic Nigel Jesse of the Prophetic Hill Chapel, who was sure that former President Mahama will win with 52.1%.
Came to me and told me that the nation should bring back Kwame Dramani of the NDC. The Lord said he should bring back Kwame Dramani of the NDC. And the Lord said through Kwame Dramani of the NDC, it's going to place the nation on a good place. I saw the NDC win the next general election with 52.1%. I saw the NDC win the general election. I saw Kwame Dramani win with 52.1%. Hear me and hear me.
Now, the founder and leader of the Glorious Wave Church, Reverend Emmanuel Bodu Kobi, is also predicting a win for President Akufo-Addo.
I'm watching everything. Now, but by the way, the elections of 2020 is already done. It's finished. They finished it. And if you check how it was done, the ruling party won. How it was done. So,
well, that is the spiritual aspect. Now, the Economic Intelligence Unit, in its latest report, said it expects President Akufo-Addo and the NPP to secure re-election in 2020. It further stated, if the NDC can present a coherent opposition and hold the NPP to account on an unfulfilled campaign promises, particularly on infrastructure development, as well as private sector developments such as job creation and industrialization, while progress has been generally slow and success patchy, the election would be closely contested. Now, we have been speaking to some Ghanaians on what they make of these prophecies and projections. We've also been asking them whether it will influence their choice in the December polls.
For me, I don't believe in those kind of prophecies, seriously, concerning elections. Elections are won based on the manifesto the party presents and what the people believe in it. So we have a lot of countless of prophecy that a lot of pastors said NDC was going to win, whatever be the case, and it turned upside down. So for me, something relating to election prophecy, sometimes for me, I doubt, seriously, I doubt about it. But I believe in prophecies, but for election's sake, I don't think so. Anything can happen, so I don't believe in prophecy concerning elections.
I don't believe in prophecy, and I don't begrudge any prophet bringing their stance as to who will win in 2020. Each and every individual has a political affiliate, like myself. I don't strictly belong to one political party. I just listen to their manifesto and look at who is possible can deliver. Then I vote for the person.
I wasn't there when God showed the vision to them. I wasn't there. So what we can do from outside is watch also been past prophecies and then find out how accurate it is. And also watch Prophet Nigel's prophecies and find out how accurate it is. Is that anybody who has watched both of them will know that some of them connect. Some of them are are hinting about this, like the terrorist attack. Nigel said we should watch from now to March. Also, Bempa is saying we should not gather at public places. So it's a good thing for them. On the elections, while both of them are have diverse views, that one I don't have any excuse for it. It's God who speaks to them. But one thing about prophecy is how to interpret it.
Prophecy is about revelations from God given. So when a pastor or a prophet prophesies, we take it serious. So I think it's something you have to just take it serious. It may happen that what they are saying is true. So why don't you just give the benefit of the doubt?
I believe in God, and I believe whatever happens, happens when God says. So all what they are saying, I believe, can happen, depending on God's choice. What this man is saying and what the other man is saying, you and I cannot decide unless God says yes. So that's what I can say. That, okay, they've said it, but what happens when it changes?
Whether their prophecies are going to stand or not, it is incumbent upon us to vote wise, not to think that I'm following this pastor or that pastor. So whatever he says is final. When it comes to election, it is the decision of the populace that tells. Because if you don't vote wise, you can get a good standard to live on as far as the country is concerned.
So that's what some people had to say about that, spiritual versus scientific. Now, it's New Year, and it's not the most original New Year's resolution, but that doesn't make it a bad one. Resolving to work out more is a noble goal made by people trying to better themselves. Unfortunately, it also tends to become next year's resolution when it doesn't stick the first time around. But maybe 2020 will be different. How? Well, you can start by switching things up with a fresh workout that brings you out of your comfort zone and shocks the system. Now, I've been speaking to Frank Amadou, who's a dietitian, about the different types of diets as we enter into 2020.
So, typically intermittent fasting, what it really means that it's in twofold. There's a point where somebody wants to go off meal for a particular period of time. Another point where the same person is taking another meal. So it runs between you fasting and not fasting during a period of time. The maximum hours that permissible hours for intermittent fasting is about 48 hours. Now there are other forms of intermittent fasting. There is one called alternative daily fasting. This is when somebody decides to go through 5 days with food.
Okay. And
the consecutive 2 days without meal. There's another form which just came through scientific findings, which is also called alternative day modified fasting. And this type of intermittent fasting, someone decides to take either a breakfast or a typical, any of the three traditional meals. So such a person will don't take breakfast and skip the other 2 meals, or take lunch and skip either breakfast or lunch, with respect to calculated calorie intake with the meals that the person is taking.
All right.
So basically, that is intermittent fasting.
Okay, now with intermittent fasting, is it beneficial? Because it seems like some people will fast for a couple of hours, but then after the fast, they'll eat a full meal. So is it beneficial?
Now, in as much as there are true scientific backings with respect to the advantages that intermittent fasting presents, it has to be regulated. Regulation here means that when somebody goes through fasting for a period of time, the adverse of this is increased appetite. Now, supposing I skip breakfast and I'm doing my lunch, since I've gone through a period of time without meals, my control centers under the regulation of the brain stated to be more sensitive to the meal. Basically, our appetite. So our appetite goes high. Now, when you get a meal, suppose that you might think, oh, you are so hungry in such a way that you are able to consume all the meal. But the body is primed towards getting adequate calories from what you take. So supposing you are taking 100% meal or 100% calories, but your body needs about 20%.
Yeah.
Once you go through a period of fasting, intermittent, the body takes the 20% from the total calories, and the 80 is rather stored as fat. So eventually, you end up building fat in your body, and the result is weight gain. Now, regulation here means that if you are doing intermittent fasting, you have to have your diet really calculated by a registered diet. So that at the end of the day, you know periods that you are supposed to fast and periods that you are supposed to go for your caloric meal. Basically.
All right, now let's move away from intermittent fasting and talk about keto. You see it on Facebook, you see it on Instagram, all over the social media platforms that, oh, I'm doing keto. But what exactly is keto? Because there are some doctors who are warning against keto, but not a lot of people understand what keto is. So can you give us a brief idea of what keto is?
Okay, so generally the idea behind ketogenic diet was a therapeutic diet for kids in a clinic. Now, it is really controlled or it's really regulated in such a way that it was given to such children or such kids in life to correct epileptic shock, what we call seizure. So research was saying that once you are being placed on ketogenic diet for a while, the result of ketogenic diet is the build-up of what we call ketone bodies in our blood. And laboratory data says that if there are a lot of ketone bodies in the blood, it's able to control the rate at which such children experience epileptic shock.
Yeah.
So that was the idea behind ketogenic diet. Now let's come to how people have really adopted this lifestyle. People feel when they go on a ketogenic diet, they're able to lose 1 or 2 kilos throughout their entire therapy or regimen. But the result is harmful rather than bringing weight gain. And no one can really go on a ketogenic diet throughout such a person's lifetime. So ideally, they are pushing the news about ketogenic diet. You can really lose weight. You can lose about 6 kg throughout the week. But the question is, are you able to maintain that weight gain over a long period of time?
Okay. Apart from exercise, which is something a lot of people can't do because of work schedule or because of time, can you give us some healthy eating tips?
The science behind weight loss is generally what you are taking in is supposed to be expended or is supposed to be used. You don't end up taking high caloric meals and remain sedentary or without using the energy intake. So if you really want to lose weight, just have an idea of how much you are taking in at the end of the day and how much your body is able to expend in addition to physical activity. So what dietitians do is that we sit down with our clients and we have their thorough dietary history and we do modifications towards what they are taking. So we know that at the end of the day, they are expending how much calories from what they are taking. So ideally, don't just try to lose weight on your own.
Eating a well-balanced diet can help you get the calories and nutrients you need to fuel your daily activities. But what about physical exercise? Dr. Yao Asofo, CEO of Medicus Hospital, tells us more.
Exercises are beneficial to almost every part of your body. So they improve your cardiovascular risk factors. And when we talk about cardiovascular risk factors, we're talking about these risk factors or the likelihood of you developing a disease that affects your heart or a disease that affects the heart and then related vessels. So exercises would improve your cardiovascular or lessen your cardiovascular risk factors. Exercises would improve your ability to control diabetes. It may also delay the onset of diabetes. When you exercise, you tend to use up a lot of the glucose in your blood. So we found out that exercising is also quite beneficial in the control of, say, diabetes. Now we live in an era where we have a lot of people sitting down for long periods, leading a very sedentary lifestyle, whether they have a shop in Makola or they work on the high street in one of these fanciful offices, or sometimes they are working from their home with their laptops. We tend to sit for long periods. Children are the worst culprits these days because they just sit behind, in front of the television screen. They won't go around and walk around and run around as they did some time back. So these are all dangerous times in which we live, and we have to do something about it. What is good enough exercise? So we need to exercise. So I'm sure somebody will be asking, how do I start? Well, the first place to start is your GP, your general practitioner. You need to always go and see your doctor if you're an adult before you start exercising. Even if you're a teenager, I think it would be a good idea to walk in and have a conversation with your family doctor, and then he will give you what we call a medical. Most of the time when we see our footballers going to new clubs, we hear that, oh, they've been signed pending the success of a medical or passing a medical. So it's very important because you may have a medical condition that precludes you from undertaking certain types of exercises, or you may have a condition that would be worsened if you exercise. So the starting point is always to go and see your doctor. Your doctor will do simple checks, measure your blood pressure, check your blood glucose levels. Just make sure that you are generally healthy to start exercising.
On that physical exercise note, we're going to take a quick breather. When we come back, we're talking about the 90s Jam. You don't want to miss it. And that's how we end JoyNews Interactive here on the JoyNews channel. I cannot wait to see you tonight at the Silver Star Towers. It's only got 60 Ghana cedis. We're going to have fun for the Joy FM 90s Jam. It's the biggest party of the year. We're entering 2020 with a bang. I'm Apita CBD. Thank you so much for your company.